I'm just a storyteller, actually, who's written her stories down, and it's been so much fun sharing them with people. I did write this little book. Let me hold it up. Miss Hildreth wore brown, Anecdotes of a Southern Belle. This is 41 very humorous, satirical anecdotes. I call it a romp through Southern life. I also call it real life fiction, because the people, the events, and places really did happen. But ladies, I may have used embellishment and exaggeration. I am, after all, a Southern storyteller. I was raised by a father and a grandmother of uncommon wit. I mean, laughter was a staple in our family. We just had these wonderful Southern stories that I grew up with. My grandmother had the dubious honor of teaching me to drive. She said, I'm going to take you to the cemetery. You can't kill anybody. They're already dead. So I learned to drive in the cemetery. This is not War and Peace. This is a fun, forget all your worries, afternoon read, and I think I can prove it. I said, honey, how are you? She said, Annie, you won't believe all the people who are dying who've never died before. Uncle Harbert could talk. Lordy mercy, you would hide behind a post when you saw him coming because he wasn't going to let you away. Well, unfortunately, Uncle Harbert died. So she said, I took my mother to the funeral home. She looked down and she said, well, bless his heart. That's the first time I've ever seen Harbert with his mouth shut. We had been married maybe a month, gone to bed. He got up and said, save my place. Who comes up with that? He was reading the obituaries. He said, so-and-so died. She said, I'm so sorry. He said, yeah, he just woke up dead. A friend of mine walked up. It was at a class reunion, and she said, I have been wanting to see you. I'm so glad you're here. She said, 2 years ago, my mother died. And she said she was in assisted living. It was the end wasn't very good. And she said, I went to see her every day. But she said, you know, I just ran out of things to talk about. So I started taking your book, and every day I read an anecdote, and she just laughed and laughed. And she said, I cannot tell you how much joy your little book brought my mother in her last days. And that, ladies, is when you're glad to be a writer.